Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with my review of the Wave 1 of the power-up figures from the Ben 10 Reboot. This first wave includes Heatblast, Diamondhead, and Fourarms. So yes, the Ben 10 reviews are back. If everything goes right, this should be my first review of the new Ben 10 toys. Speaking of, to start this review off, it includes a little pamphlet so we can take a look at what's in store for us for this new line. You got your standard 5-inch figures, or basic figures, or they might be 4 or 5-inch, but you recognize these from like when Bandai did them. Also, Playmates is doing it now, but this is our standard line. You got these right here, which I'm just about to review. The Rust Bucket playset, which is actually my next review. And then you have these large-scale figures, 2 different kinds of Omnitrix, the basic and the deluxe, and then these little, like, roleplay weapon things. So I'll be reviewing most of it. I managed to get my hands on these and the Rust Bucket, so these reviews will be coming out one behind the other. And then within a little less than a week, hopefully everything else will be rolling out once it arrives. But so, yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. So these are a little bit larger scale figures. They're roughly like 6-ish inches, between 5 and 6 inches. They're actually, despite being done by Playmates now, not too different from the setup from when Bandai did it. You had the basic figures, and then you had the larger feature figures. There you go. And they're honestly not bad looking. They're pretty good scale, pretty well done paint-wise. They look pretty decent. I overall do kind of dig them. They're all a little bit see-through because they're going to have lights and sounds and stuff like that. And because of Heatblast color, it actually makes him look like he has Albedo's red Ultimatrix settings. But so yeah, they have a little bit of articulation. You can move their arms around a little bit. You can move their head side to side, which is actually really nice. You usually don't get that with figures like this. And you can move their legs back and forth a little bit and actually bend them. I kind of wish you could bend their arms. In fact, I would take their legs being just one straight piece and being able to move the arms instead. It just feels a little more organic, especially for some of them. But so yeah, overall, look-wise, I'm pretty pleased with these overall. It captures Heatblast pretty well. Most of these guys' designs are relatively unchanged in a lot of ways from the original series. Heatblast is basically the same. It's just a little bit tweaked for the art style, like especially when you see it in the show, it looks like a little tip of a candle. But so yeah, its feature is lights and sounds activated via pressing this button in 2 ways. It's got Heatblast noises and bend noises. Now the noises for the aliens sound pretty close-ish, or at least for my opinion, to what they sound like in the show. Ben's is nothing like it. I can't figure out how to exactly activate Ben's. It seems that his happen in between, like as a waiting mode, and there is a distinct hero time noise that comes out when you first unplug the Try Me sticker, which is why Fourarms is still on, if you happen to catch that. Anyway, so there's 2 ways to activate this. If you just simply press it, it'll essentially activate a cycle, and there will be a running noise in the background, and you have to keep pressing in intervals to activate the full cycle of sounds, and then you can also press and hold it to get individual sounds. We'll start with a cycle.
Time to turn up the heat blast around here. Bring in the heat. You play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Fire blast. Justice burn.
So now I won't do it anymore. It cycles through all those and then stops.
Time to turn up the heat blast around here.
And if you activate it and just let it go, it'll make that mechanical noise and then stop. So you have to hit the button again right after he says a phrase and while the mechanical noise is still going.
Here goes.
See, the bend noises seem to be waiting noises. So like if I just leave it here and aren't touching it, it will make a couple different bend noises. Any second now we should be getting another one so I can show off the other mode. I'm just trying to fill the time.
You guys really burned me up.
There you go. And those are really the only I've been able to find outside of its initial one. So now if you press and hold it,
Time to turn up the heat blast around here. Fire blast. Justice burn.
so you can activate individual sounds if you don't want to go through the whole thing. So it's overall kind of neat. I wish Ben's voice was like it was in the show, but Heatblast is close enough. But I think it's kind of neat to have it, and I like damn it, Ben. I like the way it lights up because of the fact that Heatblast lights up and it lights up the Omnitrix. It would have cost more, but it would have been neat if the Omnitrix actually glowed green. The yellow does make it seem more like...
You guys really burned me up.
like a closer look to green, if that makes any sense, than the others. Here we have Diamondhead, who's always been my personal favorite alien across all the series, and I think his figure looks really good. Part of me wishes that it had... Damn it, Ben. It'll eventually stop. That it had that sort of solid look that the cartoon has. It has a very unique color, but this also gives it a really neat crystal look, and I think this one is probably one of my favorites out of the bunch, although Fourarms is no slouch in the area too, where I'm about to say of. It has a lot of personality. It kind of reminds me of the old Ben 10 figures and stuff like that, or I'm trying to think of another figure way, but there's some that just look like it jumped right out of the cartoon, where it's just got a lot of personality in the head sculpt, and I really appreciate that. The proportions even seem a little bit bulkier than the new one in the show. Could just be me, because the newest one is he's basically the same, he just has a different outfit and he seems a bit skinnier to me. But yeah, and as you can see, his basic design is the same, he just got a different outfit with the yellow. There is a little bit of sloppy paint there, but like, in terms of just overall look, I am pleased with him. He does have pretty similar articulation. He can move back and forth here, the knees, you can move his arms around, you can move his head as I've shown. You can actually move his hands a little bit, which is kind of nice, and I wish you could do that with Heatblast so you can get him in like a blasting position. But yeah, I'm just really pleased with the look of this guy. Alright, so let's go ahead and cycle through his sounds. That's a standard one.
Time to sharpen your skills. I'm due like a hailstorm full of diamonds. Diamond power! Diamondhead to the rescue! Diamond power!
So now I'm activating the one where you hold it down. So his actually looks really cool when it lights up like that. It's kind of a shame that that doesn't light up like green, like I said, but it would be definitely more expensive to have two different kinds. But it still looks really cool with him because of the way he looks. So he's definitely my favorite. Well, there's one of Ben's phrases. Okay, so here we have Fourarms. So I left the tag in because, as you can see, Ben's noises will happen, but I can never figure out how to get the initial ones to repeat themselves. It might be something where if it's just idle... Thank you, Ben. Where it just, if you have it idle long enough, it'll eventually reset, but...
It's hero time!
So those... Oh. So those are the noises...
All day long.
Ben, you're really getting me here. This is my review. It's a Dawson Rider review, not a Ben Tennyson review. We've talked about this. Anyway, but those are the noises basically, except for the individualized one at the end that you'll get every time you activate it.
Going aliens my game.
There you go. So yeah, we're getting through his phrases now, but that's basically what you'll get is the activation noise, which sounds like one of the deluxe Omnitrixes, and then hero time. But so he'll probably talk again while I'm talking. But look-wise, I think Fourarms also looks really good. His look is also really close to the original series. Barring the fact that the Omnitrix used to be on one of his shoulders, but this one also has a lot of personality. Not that Heatblast doesn't, but I think because him and Diamondhead have actual faces, they just really ooze a lot more personality. He looks a little bit funnier having the see-through red as opposed to the solid red like he would in the show, but that's a part of the gimmick. But overall, I think he's pretty good looking. Articulation, you can move both sets of his arms around, which gives him a little bit more personality, which is nice. Again, I wish you could bend him, like you can bend the legs here. It's not very much, but I would rather trade in the arms, especially with Fourarms, because he's known for it. And as I showed, you can move his head around. Alright, let's go ahead and cycle through the sounds now. Shall we? Now I figured out how to get that sound.
Fourarms. You're going down. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Fourarms of fun. I've never felt so powerful.
Okay, now for the holding down one, just to show it.
I've never felt so powerful.
There you go. So now Ben will probably talk a couple times and do random stuff while I'm talking. But there you have it with that. As you saw, I did make that one sound, so maybe it was idle long enough for what I was talking about, but I'm still not 100% sure. And the instructions or the box really don't clarify that. But anyway, overall, I actually quite dig these figures. I don't think they're the most amazing thing you need to run out and get them, but if you have a favorite amongst these or any they might do in the future, I'm not sure how many waves they'll do of this, I can recommend at least checking out one of them. I think they're pretty good looking figures and I really do like the voices and lights on them. My only drawback is that Ben really doesn't sound anything like him. I'm not sure because the new series hasn't been on long enough for me to fully remember him, but if the voices for the aliens are the same, but if not, they're definitely a lot closer of an imitation for the show than Ben is. So that's really my only complaint about this outside of the arms not being able to bend is I wish Ben's voice was closer. But otherwise, I can recommend at least checking out your favorite for these. Anyway, until next time, make sure you don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.